Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a book that's all about standing out in a seriously crowded world. I mean, let's face it, there's just so much of everything these days. Products, information, you name it.
It's overwhelming, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's where Seth Godin's Purple Cow comes in. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah, classic.
It's all about, well, becoming a purple cow. Not literally, of course, though that would be pretty amazing.
Definitely memorable. I think we'd all stop scrolling for that.
The point is, how do you grab attention when everyone's vying for the same eyeballs? You got to be different. You got to be remarkable.
Right, like imagine you're driving through the countryside and you see a field full of cows. Nothing special, right? But then, boom, a purple cow.
Now you're talking. You wouldn't just drive on by. You'd probably slam on the brakes, take a picture, tell all your friends.
Exactly. And that's the kind of reaction you want to create with your product, your service, your ideas, something that makes people stop and take notice.
Makes sense. So it's about ditching the beige and embracing the purple, metaphorically speaking. So besides just being catchy, what's the deeper message here?
Well, Godin's really challenging the whole idea of traditional advertising. You know, billboards, TV commercials, the usual suspects.
Yeah, those don't really pack the same punch they used to, do they?
Nope. We're just bombarded with so many messages every single day that we've gotten really good at tuning them out. It's like our brains have built-in ad blockers.
So what's the solution? Shout even louder.
Not quite. Godin says it's not about volume, it's about value. You need to be inherently remarkable, not just another face in the crowd.
Got it. Be remarkable, not just loud. Easy to say, harder to do. Any good examples of this in action?
Oh, tons. Think about Apple. The iPod, for instance. It wasn't the first MP3 player, but it was the one that everyone wanted.
Yeah, the iPod was iconic. I remember everyone rocking those white earbuds.
Exactly. They didn't just create a product, they created an experience. The design was sleek, the interface intuitive, and the whole iTunes ecosystem made it so easy to use.
It was like they tapped into a cultural shift. Suddenly, everyone wanted to be part of that Apple world.
And it wasn't just the product itself. Think about the marketing. Those silhouette ads with the dancing figures and the white earbuds, simple, but incredibly effective.
Speaking of effective, what about Starbucks? I mean, they took a basic cup of coffee and turned it into like a whole cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They created a third place, not home, not work, but a space where people could relax, connect, and feel like they belonged.
The atmosphere, the customizable drinks, even those quirky names like Grand and Venti, they definitely did something different.
They understood that people don't just want a product, they want an experience. And they were masters at creating that.
It seems like both Apple and Starbucks really nailed targeting a specific audience. People who were passionate about the product and in turn became almost like evangelists for the brand.
Absolutely. They found their tribe, their sneezers, as Godin calls them. Those were the people who are so enthusiastic about something that they can't help but tell everyone they know.
So it's about finding those people who really resonate with what you're doing.
Right. And then giving them something worth talking about, something remarkable.
Now, I know Godin talks a lot about taking risks and embracing failure. That can be kind of scary, though.
I know. It's definitely easier said than done.
Especially when there's so much pressure to play it safe, right?
Exactly. But Godin argues that playing it safe is actually the riskiest thing you can do. Why? Because it leads to mediocrity. And mediocrity is invisible.
That's true. It's like blending into the background noise.
Exactly. To create a purple cow, you have to be willing to stand out, to push boundaries, and yeah, maybe even fail a few times along the way.
Have you ever had to, take a big risk in your work that maybe made you feel a little uncomfortable?
Oh, absolutely. There was this one project. I was working on a new product launch, and everyone was kind of going down the same, well, predictable path. But I had this crazy idea. It was definitely outside the box, and honestly, a lot of people were skeptical.
So what did you do?
Well, I took a deep breath and just went for it. I pitched the idea, presented my vision, and to my surprise, everyone loved it. It ended up being one of the most successful launches we ever had.
That's awesome. Proof that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the biggest rewards.
Definitely. And that's exactly what Godin's getting at. You got to be willing to put yourself out there.
Okay, so we've got the concept. We've seen some awesome examples. But I'm sure there are people listening right now thinking, okay, great, but what about my purple cow? Where do I even start?
Great question. It all starts with self-awareness. What makes you unique? What are you passionate about? What problems are you solving that no one else is?
It's like finding your own personal brand of remarkable right.
Exactly. And then it's about figuring out who your sneezers are. Who are those people who will be so excited about what you're doing that they can't wait to tell the world?
So it's a mix of self-awareness, passion, and finding your tribe.
Exactly. And then taking action. What's one small step you can take this week to be a little more remarkable? It doesn't have to be some grand gesture, just something that moves you in the right direction.
So whether you're working on a new business, a creative project, or even just trying to spice up your everyday life,
Yeah,
think Purple Cow.
right. Be bold, be different, and most importantly, be you. That's what truly makes you stand out.
In a world that's overflowing with choices, being ordinary is like whispering in a hurricane.
You gotta find your purple.
Hopefully it sparked some ideas and given you some inspiration to be a little more remarkable in your own life.
Before we wrap up, I have one final thought for you.
Hit me with it.
Imagine your ideal purple cow coming to life. Not just how it would impact your life, but how it would affect the lives of others. What kind of positive change could you create by daring to be remarkable?
It's a great question. Something to think about.
Until next time.
See you then.